Hello, welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name's the Chiller. So we got kind of a spicy one today. One where I had I don't know the right way of phrasing this, but a review of something that was oh so right, but I got called out for being oh so wrong at the time. So I'll get into that. It's a little bit spicy. Insane security measures. I'm going to show the podcast today a lot, but I'm going to also show you why it's needed. There are so many issues in this space still. But before we get into that, you'll notice on the screen the AI XBT. And it says, multiple gem assist gives you access to higher tiers. And some of you are going to immediately be like, that's the OpenSea thing. Oh, wait, what? You need 3 of them. Wait, hold on. You didn't even say 3. Well, true. That's the next part. It's not linear, but having at least 3 is optimal for what's coming. Oh. Now, to clarify this, because anytime I've brought it up in a chat, people ask several questions from, how do we know this is true? Is this real? Do I buy any? It's completely up to you. It is completely up to you. But so far what we've seen from the AIXB team is that generally speaking, they've talking in facts more than anything. So if for this OpenSea token drop that we just had Magic Eden that came out at wild valuations, you also saw probably a ton of FUD on the timeline regarding it, are we in airdrop season? And will it matter for picking any of these up? Now, right now they're around like $90 to $100, and this is probably going to be more prevalent to anybody that had excessive NFT activity a couple years ago, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, well, listen, this is Thread Guy and Mr. Luke and Nets. They got some spice for you.
By the end of the year, the top NFT projects will have coins.
Half of them already have coins, by the way. I mean, I not to take away what he's saying, but we have all of these launches that are happening, right? We've gone through multiple of them as we've gone out the stream. But he's saying all of them are going to have it. Of course, because the landscape's got completely open, and you realize, the longer you're in the space, you realize the earlier collections of just, they're doing kind of a merge, they're doing whatever. It's not going to have the same success. It's not going to have the same attention as being able to launch a coin. I mean, look at Pudgy Penguins. They can do anything they want. And how much more attention did they get from since announcing they're doing a token?
So you're either going to get with the program and adapt and adjust and understand that this is the new narrative, or you're going to get left behind. Because
listen, we figured that out a long time ago. But again, people come in the space at different times. But there's a reason why we had the narrative back in the day that I keep referencing all the time of, oh, we had, a DAO meta, we had a companion collection meta, we had all of these different things. And the token meta, when it came out, people were like, oh my God, this is it. But a lot of teams kind of fumbled on their entire approach to it. Now, Sailor was on with Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. And yeah, I don't know what to say. We'll just play it.
Michael showed up about 20 minutes ago, and I want to wait. Look at the setup we got here. I want what we talked about because we have the video of the Winklevosses telling me Eli Musk is going to outer space and raining gold down. Confused me. I sold it. You just buy 400-something thousand Bitcoins with your company and you. So if I want to know what I got wrong about Bitcoin, or explain it so I understand it finally.
Yeah, I think let's talk about it in sports metaphors. It's like, first of all, there's some games that you can't play, you got to watch. And if you're just watching the game and the team wins, that means your season tickets are going to get more expensive next year. But there are other games you can play. You go into a casino and you play the game, but you know the game's rigged against you. There are some games where the house wins, you're not winning. And Satoshi created a game that's rigged in favor of the individual.
Is he a real person?
Satoshi is a real person.
Do you know who he is?
Gone but not forgotten.
Do you aware? Do you know who that person is?
We're all Satoshi. We're all Satoshi now, Dave.
Okay.
Right? The most important thing to know is that, like Prometheus gave us fire to warm you up, Satoshi
On a completely random note, I can't tell if like this suit jacket has just not got the proper lighting, but it looks like he's wearing like half a suit and it's really weird.
gave us a game we can all win, right? And Bitcoin is that game. It's, you know, there are certain things where like you don't want to be on a network where they can censor what you say and they can freeze your account. Bitcoin is a monetary network where it won't censor where you send your money. It won't freeze your account. And it's engineered in such a way that on the margin, you're winning the game over time. So think of it like, wouldn't it be great if you had a basketball team and you had LeBron James, and you had Michael Jordan, and you had the digital version of them, and they played forever, and you could get on the court and play with them. And they're scoring 100 points and you're scoring 2 points, but you're all getting rich together. And you're all
yeah, what a weird way of phrasing that. Good God, holy moly. Okay, so there's a dichotomy of two people, if you will. So Gary V, a couple years ago, when he was sweeping different NFTs, I guess agents asked him if he was going to sweep Pudgies, and he said no. Well, we had Spencer who went and bought 144 of them. So I guess the lessons in the story are just be careful who you're taking advice from. Abstract chain, guys, listen, marketing is going to just absolutely soar here for all these blockchains. Everybody's going to put insane amount of capitals in these things. Listen, we're in a bull. Abstract is realizing that. They're trying to get people attracted through the sham abstract.
Hi, Chaz Swanson here. Now, folks, if you're like me, you're going crazy trying to build the future of consumer crypto. I mean, how are we supposed to build the on-chain future when there's no good tools to build the future with? Which is exactly why I want to tell you about Abstract. The platform built by builders for builders. Hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of your balls dropping when you get a load of our one-of-a-kind user experience. An experience where builders and everyday users grow the on-chain economy together. Our protocol is completely open source. Everyone's invited to the party, which means everyone involved can get a slice of the cake, if you know what I mean. But that's not all. Unmatched developer support. Big Daddy Abstract has got the tools and distribution that you need to guide you and your brand to infinity and beyond. So, what are you waiting for? It's up to builders just like you to take crypto back into your own hands and get building with Abstract. Hi, Chaz Swanson.
It's still crazy to think that like we still have like so many more blockchains that are about to launch. So many. Airdrop season. Okay, so we've had the narrative around AI agents. If you guys haven't seen, I saw this one the other day that I thought was kind of interesting. CHCK AI agent, and it is one that's about collectibles. And it seems all the comments so far are more like about specific cards, not like collectibles as everything under the sun. As an example, someone said, how much is a PSA 8 Michael Jordan rookie? And they respond immediately saying a PSA Michael Jordan rookie card typically ranges from $5,000 to $8,000 depending on market trends and demand. Now, what's funny about this is like when we sit back and remember the good old days of earlier NBA Top Shot, we used to have all these kind of comparisons of, oh, well, this moment's worth this. I mean, you could go out and buy like this card for that, and the speculation and the scarcity between all of these sort of things. And it's funny to see the market kind of growth over time, and shows also too the strength of having I don't know if legacy market's the right term, but like a market of something that's been around for a long time. Because you have all these reference points, the more demand, et cetera, et cetera. But either way, if you're wanting to check that out, it's chck.ai as the X handle. I saw Neanderthal on the timeline highlighting the space doodles. And so doodles are doing the token, but one thing that I shouldn't say they're doing a token, but it's implied they're doing a token from what we heard from Luca Netz and just, general assumptions within the entire space. And they've been doing these space miles. But what happens for all the people that haven't put their doodle in space? Is it something that the other individuals are just out of luck on? I feel like this is going to have huge ramifications if it's ever announced. Like, yeah, you have to have your space doodle to be able to get any of the allocation. There's probably a lot of people that don't have that. And it's just, I don't know. How do you make it fair? Are these different? Is there an allocation for some that have space miles? Is there an allocation for not? But let the speculation begin. And Matty B, listen, Questmas is almost here, baby. True. So we've been waiting for a while, and I mean like 2-ish plus months for Quest to come out. As Futureverse apparently was building with a certain site provider that ended up going belly up, and so they had to redo all the things they were working on to be able to relaunch the Quest. And I don't know if this is a part of that, if this is a makeup for those 2 months or what, but very, very excited to see what Questmas entails. So we've had a wild past 24 hours. Yesterday, in a single hour, 800 million worth of crypto longs liquidated. People got insanely confident with the market. Hit 100K, hang around there a bit, full send on the leverage trade, absolutely wrecked. So much so that somebody had $14,650,000 on a Bitcoin long. Liquidated. Poof. Gone. Quest sounds interesting. Super Bowl, what's going on? Yes. And then a little bit after that, 800 million in a single hour, over 1.5 billion worth of crypto long is liquidated in the past 24 hours. So this is where it gets people, because the market's so volatile. And I was watching Bill Noah a little bit earlier, and he's like, I hope you didn't come into crypto like last week and then leave crypto as of today. And I mean, it is kind of like an emotional roller coaster and stuff, but then when you actually have the insights, and you understand, number one, the market's volatile to begin with, but then there was disgusting leverage used. It changes things just a little bit. 2 years ago, Grapes was 5 ETH, lessons in that. True. So what's funny about this is I was interested in the collection. I bought some, and I made a video about this collection. And shout out to Steph, who helped me with the thumbnail on it. And it said like Grapes exposed. And I wasn't like trying to attack the collection by any means, but I got ridiculed on this. Normally I don't get like a lot of hate comments or anything, but there's a couple people that were like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like this seems like a personal vendetta against the team. And it was just me talking about this, but I put clips like, and you can go back and watch this video if you guys want. It's 20 minutes and it's from the team talking before they bailed. You can get to that story a little bit later. But they were talking about, yeah, we're going to do things in Fortnite. We're going to do games in Roblox. And it's like, okay, well, everybody's doing that. Everybody's saying they're doing that. But like, does that even matter? But again, we had the narrative that anything around Animoca was the alpha. So Mochaverse went crazy. Grapes went from like 0.17 to 5 ETH and then completely died after, where the token's dead. These are dead. Everything's dead. So you got to be on your feet. You got to be on your feet. And if you're on your feet, this is a spicy one. Pudgy Penguins and Igloo acquiring OpenSea. Now, imagine if OpenSea ran out of money. Or Pudgy Penguins made enough that they wanted to buy them. But either way, here's some major hints. So Lukinet's saying that he wants to acquire OpenSea. I don't remember this even happening. But apparently this was like last month. He says, I want Igloo Inc. to buy OpenSea this cycle. Okay, well, one, that would happen very quickly if so. The calm before the storm boats. OpenSea logo is a white sailboat. And OpenSea's pin post from November 5th looks like an Igloo boat on the water. And so do we say, hey, that's a Pudgy rod? Can you imagine if Pengu launches the token, if Abstract launches one, and OpenSea does, and they're all part of an ecosystem that goes out to Web3 in general? That's a spicy meatball. Digital cardboard sales on Flow. We talked about the collectors a little bit. For NBA, we got 70,000 worth of sales. NFL, 41,000. Big difference in buyers, though. For the NBA, just over 1,000 people, where for NFL All Day, it was less than 400 people that are out there. And I really thought that NFL All Day was going to kick off, but I mean, looking at this, it's like, damn, did Top Shot really just get the attention because people were making some bank on the moment? Might have been. So listen, Snoop Dogg's out here still rocking with the Bored Ape chain. Gotta love it. So Magic Eden, they had their airdrop today. It came out at like 4.5 billion, something nuts. It was like $5 now and still going higher. People bought on Coinbase. And first day listing we haven't seen too many coins get launched and immediately have the tier 1 exchange listings, but Magic Eden being one of them. Saw a lot of FUD on the timeline. I saw a lot of excitement on the timeline. I tried to check because I had some diamonds, but it didn't do anything. It said, yeah, nah, not eligible. And I'm like, what do you mean? I got like 17K diamonds from back in the day, but it seemed like they didn't really reward diamonds too heavily. But when OpenSea airdrop, hopefully soon. We're supposed to get the info this month. Okay, so I wanted to switch from the grapes thing a second ago that you were kind of right about, and I feel like I've been somewhat negative around the 8chain stuff, especially on like the first few days that it opened, because I was like, this is all bad, and I don't want to kill anybody's mood that was really into it, but I thought they were terrible, and so JPEG Flipper brought one of his earlier posts and quote tweeted this, but we'll get to the next part in a second. I personally think all these NFTs and Shiza coins on ApeChain are worthless vaporware that will end up being a negative EV, not only to the chain's reputation, but also the people who got stuck holding them as it inevitably goes to zero. And I'm all for new things, but all we saw from ApeChain NFTs on the original launch was just copy pastas of like legitimate entire collections. We highlighted the Beans collection the other day, and it was brutal. So I guess somebody who was associated with like the legit Bored Ape ripoff collection on there was like, I got bad news. You could DMCA it. This is not a joke. You can't trade them anymore. People are down bad. It's like, bruh, there is no way. And these are the kind of people that are probably like super against Ryder, Pauly, and all them when they were doing like the fake apes too. So like, nah. When are we going to learn? If these are the people we're trading against, we're going to be fine in life. True. But breaking, South Korea delays cryptocurrency tax implementation until 2027. What? Okay. All right. We're moving. Do you guys remember the NFT profile pictures? They were the octagon, right? Guys, that was like our bragging right on Twitter before it became X. Yeah, guys, we got like an NFT as our PFP. And people not only make fun of those who have like the verification badge right now that like pay for X, right? That's a very common trend. Somebody makes a post, somebody comments kind of against that post, and then the immediate response is, you pay for X. And it's like, okay, like what kind of argument are we going for here? But it's funny because I totally forgot about the NFT part, because at a point that was one of the other digs people just referenced to instead of like actually attacking the point that was made. Oh wow, sweet! I didn't know that was a real thing. Oh yeah. So Diego, we've talked a little bit about security. We're gonna keep going into it. I got drained, fully drained. Hi everyone, I'm just coming to share with you all the worst day of my life and how it happened, so that you guys don't ever have to pass through it. I love when people give kind of a breakdown on what exactly happened. It all started with a Twitter message of a guy whose account seemed perfectly legit. Scammer. He offered a part-time job to be a community manager of a project. All right. I've sat here saying, ignore DMs. You're not that interesting. Nobody wants to hire you. And you're an awful human being. Well, now, I don't actually mean that. But it's to try to get the point across that there is infinite amount of scams. And unless you really know somebody over a long amount of time, and even then you can still get hoodwinked, don't touch it. So anyway, this guy asked them to work for a project. You go down the list, they download something, they get in contact, they give out info. It's over. But luckily, we're here to help you with that. If you guys do want to listen to this RWA Segments podcast, we had Alex Katz on from Kerberos. This is a browser extension that you are able to download that is one of the best in the biz. But this episode is not to shill that by any means. It's to give different insights about how do you know when your wallet is fully compromised, if there is something that goes wrong, early beginner tips and tricks, just everything about security, absolute wealth of knowledge. It's like 30 minutes of just straight banger content. Would love for you guys to go check that out. The episode just dropped a little bit earlier today. And again, if you want a direct link, it's in the X bio if you follow me on there, or if you're here on YouTube, it is in the description below. And if you're on Twitch, well, yeah, that's what I call tough. But yeah, I'm assuming if you're on Twitch, you follow me on X. And a part of that podcast as well, we had Fabrica Land on before, and they're doing real estate on chain. And they made this post that I just thought was relevant. The rental market extends to land too. Leasing plots for tiny homes, glamping art installations and remote retreats is surging as people seek space beyond cities, landowners prosper. And so his like online tokenization is more about like just empty plots of land. And it's very, very interesting to see this starting to come to fruition a little bit more. So Beanie posted a screenshot of somebody that he, I guess, talked to about Bitcoin forever ago. I should have done what you did with Bitcoin when you told me to. He says, I tried telling people, I know, congratulations, though you're rich. And so he says, would you buy now if I told you it was a good idea? And they say, nah, now it's too expensive to get into for me. But now you can own a small portion of a coin. If you put in $1,000 and Bitcoin goes to 1 million, then you still make a 10x. True, but it's a bit volatile and I can't keep up watching. I mean, kudos for saying like I can't keep up watching, but I mean, that sort of thing, like if you're going for Bitcoin, that's the easiest thing to just like not watch, if that's what you prefer. G Money saying or highlighting for their 9DC collection, which is like a Web3 luxury clothing brand, 2,750 black boxes. Each one guarantees a 9DC heat. Yo, Jasmine TV, what's going on? How are we doing? But one of you degens is going home with a punk. So this is kind of reminding me of the Doodles McDonald's, or sorry, the, wait, hold on, what was it? If you go home with a punk. No, yeah, it was Doodles, but it wasn't McDonald's. It was a Rubik's Cube, right? Where it was like, hey, you can get this one-of-one Rubik's Cube that's Doodles X Rubik's Cube. And it was kind of like a lottery system for that. But now here's a physical item you can buy, kind of expensive, but there's a chance you get a CryptoPunk. And that might get enough people to be pushed over the edge for it. Sign up to be the first to know. I don't really want to sign up for it, but like what's inside. And to be honest, when I first read this, when I bookmarked it, I thought it said a hat. So I was going to go a little bit harder on this, but if it's heat, listen, if we got a whole package of clothing, we're vibing. Hell yeah. So Jack Butcher, who's a big artist within the space, had these open editions the other day. And traditionally what we've seen from artists is they launch a massive open edition. And I think this one sold like 120,000 of these things for like $4 or $5. And then you can burn X amount of those. And in this case, it was 64 of them to get the new item. But scrolling through, I was like, this guy doesn't post about where to go. Like if you're somebody new who just bought one of these, you have no idea where to go. It says like, okay, these ones were burned. This is what's happened. And like he ends up responding to it. But you go and look on their profile, they don't have a link for it. And it's like, this seems like the easiest stuff in the world. Why are we doing this? Insane. So I haven't read this one, but I've seen some things on the timeline saying it's spicy. So Bored Ape Yacht Club co-founder, Garga teases other side native AI agent. So, and this is also retweeted by Aaron McDonald from Futureverse and ASM. So I was like, I don't know if this is related, but a fully uncensored interactive character, INPC able to guide a narrative, independent agent and other side. Agent can generate quests and other side via API. Smooth UX for talking with agent, proximity-based session, simple interface. That stuff means like absolutely nothing to me. I'm not going to lie. But if there is a deeper connection and all of these things across the space are connected, that is going to be a spicy meatball. Justin Ripple officially receives final approval from NYDFS for Ripple. USD coin. Hell yeah. All these coins, all this liquidity. Oh, imagine the smell of 2025 Q1. It's going to be insane. Hack and slash MMORPG on Ape Chain.
And the world is coming undone. All the kings and their armies, all the bravery and sacrifice won't stop the dark, hungry river. The world tree is dying.
You know, I feel kind of weird about these things because I don't know if it's like a Web3 effect, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I'd rather see the gameplay. I know that's probably not the right mindset, and nobody goes off of that for like traditional games, but it's like we've had so many games of Web3 come out, and it's just like, eh. But it looks all right. Listen, I mean, I don't know what we can say from a teaser, but not bad. Dookie Dash Season 1 Esports Tournament, January 11th to 17th. Get paid to play a video game. Welcome to 2024. So, speaking of gameplay, we've highlighted Star Atlas a little bit here and there, but they've done a ton of stuff. And this also kind of looks like Star Wars Battlefront. If you remember, we can fly through some of the ships in the earlier games. Love playing it on Xbox back in the day. But I really think Star Atlas is one of the best looking games there is out there. And so that's an example of one portion of it. They're out in space in these ships going across different planets, and another back to kind of that local area. But this one looks like a race course. Also has some combat involved with it. It looks kind of neat. And then this is like an actual race course. It looks like your Star Wars pod races. Yeah, it's called a pod race, right? Man, I gotta watch Star Wars. Haven't been there in a long time. True. And then, okay, final thing here on the hacking front. Again, love for you guys to listen to the podcast because some of this stuff is just brutal. So we have this thing where a lot of people are going out and trying to do like research on the timeline, whether it be for just insights for themselves, whether they're maybe lazy and don't want to go and find other things. But anyway, this Claude individual says, "Show me Web3 games. I'm working on something new. I don't care if it's finished or still in alpha, all chains. Friends, please retweet for awareness." Okay. And then like right after they're saying, "All my wallets have been hacked. I don't know how, but it's like they have control over my computer." So they downloaded a game off of comments from random people saying this is Web3, and they got compromised for it. And I feel bad about it, but it's like, man, I really hope everybody's being safe out there. Triple thinking, don't talk to anybody. This is what happens when the market heats up back again. Scammers are everywhere. Be safe where you can. Would love for you guys to check out the podcast. Again, it's in the X bio or in the YouTube description below. Thank you so much for tuning on in, Super Bowl. Appreciate you being here live. Love you guys. See you tomorrow as per usual. Peace.